Hello viewers, Super GT here. How are we all doing? Thank you for joining me for another video. Some juicy content for you. Now, a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago, I decided to become an American. And I had so much fun that I'm going to become an American again. And you can see that here, because I've signed in as a certain Mr. Scott Speed. Now, as you can probably tell, we arrive at Laguna Seca, an American circuit. I'm driving an American car, and I am American. And this Brazilian is not having a very good time at all, as he decides to spin it to the left into the tyre wall. And we've barely even made it to the start line. So not the most ideal start from that dude. We're going to do our best to try to not have... Oh, we've already smashed into the back of this Hyundai. I'm going to slow down and let him go back at... Oh. Slow down and let him go back ahead. 2-second penalty, which we have to serve here. Fair enough. We go back down to 18th. Now, if you're new to the channel and do enjoy this video, give us a like, give us a sub, but only if you want to. I won't force you. But maybe I will have to start forcing people. Anyway, around the outside of that dude, up into 17th. We're looking at the back of the Porsche now as we head into the corkscrew. 13 laps here at the famous Laguna Seca. It's been in every Gran Turismo game so far. You've probably heard about it at some point in your Gran Turismo career, if you have one. But for those of you who don't know, it's a racing track in California, in the western side of the United States. And as a proud American that I now am, I should know that. I should have a lot of experience with this circuit. We're going to whip it forward a little bit here as we come down to turn officially number 2 at the bottom of the hill here. And the Jaguar a little bit narrow. Got a 4-second penalty. We're going to kick back, or cut back on 2 guys there. Got up into 15th. Looking around the outside of the Jag. Bit of contact as we go through the apex. Got a car on my right hand side here. You might better see it on the radar. We're sweeping in, given the space on the right hand side, and maintain 15th. The Canadian serves the 4-second penalty in the Jag, and we take 14th. Now up behind the Hyundai, let's try and pick a way past. So of course you might have noticed that we didn't do qualifying. We started at the back just for the lols. Our rating is not too high just yet. We're still a BS rated driver, so we're going to see a load of BS in this lobby, presumably. I hope not too much of it. Now, he gets that really wrong, does the Hyundai driver, as we come flying down the long left, and I thought I was going to get swept into the sand realm. But amazingly, it was left space, and we live to fight another day. So really good racing there, and a pleasure to drive around your outside there, my dear friend. Thank you for not murdering me. Righty then, down the hill into turn 2, lap 3. Up now behind the Viper, and a nice range of cars being driven today in this race. We have a recovering Subaru coming back onto the track. You can see just ahead there with a 2-second penalty. So we should gain 2 positions around this corner, where we have the penalty line. There it is. So the Subaru services 2, the Viper services 1. We move up 2 positions. Up now behind the Brazilian in the Beetle. This corner here, not really an overtaking opportunity. You're just going to try to take it as fast as possible and get a good exit to give yourself a possibility of a move up here into the corkscrew. And of course, don't outbrake yourself. Try not to. And we've actually hooked up with the apex quite nicely there. Keep it just about within the track limits. And job's a good un, brother or sister. And coming through then, the final corners of the circuit. Turn 10, guy ahead a little bit wide in the Mercedes. Does this give us a chance into the final corner? Yes, it does, up the inside. Overcook slightly, actually no, that was pretty much about as good as I needed to take it. Up into 9th, setting a 24.2 on the 3rd lap. Not too bad, but we can definitely go quicker. Brazilian going flying off into the sand, becoming yet another victim of the sand realm. You hate to see it. And Mr. Skittles here, a little bit wide, gives us the space, and we're up the inside. And that's 7th position on lap number 4. It's a good, 4.5 seconds now to 6th place. So the car's a little bit more spread out in the front of the pack. It took us until lap 5 here to get well within sight of the aforementioned car ahead, and here it is. It's a Beetle driven by another American. Lots of Americans, surprise surprise, in the American server. And when I say American server, I mean the whole of the Americas, not just the United States, of course. Into the final corner, lap number 5, approaching halfway of this race. Beetle a little bit wide. I'm going to tuck into the slipstream, probably too far away to go for a move, unless it were to be, of course, dive bomb of the century. Setting at 23.3, that's the kind of pace we need to be doing. I think the top guys in the world will be doing 22s probably, but low 23s, we'll be happy with that in the mid-course of the race. Now, we're going to try and pick our way through past the Beetle. Car ahead with a pen. Oh, we don't even need to do that. He's just going to drive off the track for me. As brake markables get flown everywhere, courtesy of the car ahead, which is just about to serve a 0.5 second penalty as he does. So we don't get ahead of this chap here. Coming up the hill in the fellow Corvette user's wake into the fast sweeping left-hander of turn number 6. He's going to get poor exit. That's going to give us the momentum and the drive up the hill to get on the left-hand side. The inside, or the corkscrew, and a little bit of a late braking manoeuvre there, and cost a little bit of time, but thankfully the guy didn't manage to capitalise. We catch up with a rather laggy Canadian. Can we get past this dude? Jumping all over the big sausage, you do not want to do that. As we head then towards the braking zone of turn 5, braking pretty much on the 3 board, and a little bit way off the apex there actually. And you've got such a bad exit that this gives us the momentum to go up the inside. Not the kind of corner you want to go for a late lunge, but if you're already up the inside, then certainly you can go through there as we move up into 4th position. Not too bad. Where did we start? 19th, I think it was. Something along those lines. Car ahead, 5 seconds, but by lap 11, we got that gap down to 2, so there was a chance that we could get a podium here and impress the boys back at the Corvette factory. But no, this guy, well, he had other ideas really. He didn't really fancy a podium, so RIP in peace. We move up into 3rd place quite comfortably, and the McLaren boys there back at the MTC going to be unhappy with that performance from Pancho spinning into the wall so late under the pressure. But the Corvette boys back at base, rejoicing at this epic podium, finishing behind 2 Porsche 911s, and actually really rather happy with that race. It was actually really good fun, and I've got to say there was a fair amount of respect being shown. There was, of course, the fair few incidents here and there, and I battered someone off in the first corner, but apart from that, the respect was very evident, and that was very evident, I would say, in this chat at the end. These guys were getting on like a big house on fire. You were hard to catch. You kept creeping up, lol. Tyre management was key. They were loving it. These guys were just really, truly getting on. They should have got a room, to be honest. Now, that race was pretty good. We're going to jump over to Mount Panorama, or Bathurst, as I would want to say, and give this race a go. Now, of course, as a proud American that I am, you can tell by my accent, it's very American, obviously. And I've gone for the Viper, another American car. We went past this fellow Viper user, and then tried to get past this dude called Nacho Bog _15. Now check out this horrific piece of driving by me, as I tried to go around the outside, and you can see just how awful that is, right? How despicable I am, because I forced another car off the track there, obviously. Got a 1 second penalty for it. Okay, well, that's just how it goes sometimes. Down to 14th. Tried to make our way back past the Viper, and we go up the inside here. Nicely up the inside. There was contact halfway through, but I'm not sure what else I was supposed to do about that, because I was on the inside, on the far left of the circuit. Now, final lap, coming into the chase. It was all kicking off between the Audi and the Scirocco here. Nacho Bog 15. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. As we head into the final corner, are we going to get a repeat of what happened on lap 1? I'm going to force him narrow. Tried to go around the outside, and I was kind of wary about doing that, and it didn't really work out. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but it isn't going to be enough. Scott Speed with a disappointing 12th position, and the boys back at the Viper, or the Dodge factory, really, really, you know, up in arms at that shocking performance. We're going to try and go a little bit better here, back at Laguna. Now, I'm going to go a little bit less patriotic. Patriotism, what's the opposite of intensifies? Whatever that word is. Doesn't intensify, goes smaller. That's really horrific commentary. But I've gone for Lexus, which is an American... Well, it kind of is, isn't it? It actually is. There you go. But isn't it just Toyota, really? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? I'm driving this car. I'm going to try and overtake as many cars as possible and see what we can do. So we started 17th. It wasn't meant to be 20th. Oh, as this guy doesn't really fancy staying on the racing line. Just, it's like a magnet strongly pulled him towards the barrier. And I guess he wanted to visit our good friend Barry R. But that didn't work out for him. Up into 13th. Started 17th. Half a lap done. 4 positions gained. Now that's a decent return, I might tell you. Right, a bit of a squirm on the exit of turn 5 there, but we keep it under control, keep the car in check, and we can move onwards and upwards up this order. As we begin the second lap, going over the crest, searching for your braking point, boom, there it is, and we're up the inside of the Peugeot, who does not give up. Doesn't give up much of a fight, and let's just go through quite convincingly. Moving into 12th position, up now behind Mr. B-Dog 03. Me and him go way back. What a guy Mr. B-Dog 03 is. Let's see if we can make the jump on him as he gets all out of shape there in his Ford Mustang as we make the overtake on the exit of the corner, courtesy of his poor acceleration, courtesy of that, well, quite frankly, a mistake through that corner. Now, out of nowhere, boom, like a laser-guided missile tried to wipe us out at the corkscrew apex. Didn't quite manage it, although we did go a little bit wide. Thankfully don't get a penalty for going wide. I guess the game did do a good thing for once, and it realised that I was kind of pushed into going wide. But there you go. Up into the top 10. Up behind the Corona machine. Oh, that's demonetisation for you. As we go past him, obviously got no pace. That's another side effect of having that virus, I guess. As we come down into the braking zone, up behind the BMW M3 GT, has a 1 second penalty, so we should be able to get past him. The penalty zone is just in a couple of corners time, so we can try and play it patient. He goes a little bit wide there. Oh, he's all over the shop. We're gonna have to stick behind for the moment, and then we've got the better momentum. We can pull past him before he even serves that penalty. Moving up into 8th, there's a big group up ahead, and by the end of the lap, as you can see, we managed to catch up, and boom, someone ended up into the sand realm. Another victim is being claimed. So we get past this dude and find ourselves behind the Brazilian barrier of Beetles. Can we try to surpass these dudes on lap number 4 and go for 4th? Well, here comes a strong move. Getting your elbows out, Mr. Scott Speed. That's not Super GT, by the way, that's actually Scott Speed driving. So I can blame everything on him. So no penalty. I guess in this part of the world that is fair game as we move on and try to hunt down this Mexican who's in 3rd place. Sergio Perez doesn't have a job at the moment after being sacked rather brutally by Racing Point. And well, look what he's doing now. He's just playing Gran Turismo online. And he needs to up his pace because I really reeled him in at a rather fast rate of knots. You see, at the end of lap 6, we are hunting down the aforementioned Sergio Perez, and he goes into the pit lane. That just shows his level of knowledge is not quite there, because you really do not need to pit on this race. And I always thought Sergio Perez was good on these tyres, but clearly not. We therefore find ourselves in 3rd place, up behind this American, and 1st place really isn't too far ahead either. So a win is definitely a possibility here. The American and the Beetle getting that a little bit wide. This has been my favoured overtake here. Getting a good exit out of this corner to potentially go for one into this next turn, and it seems to be working. and boom, late on the brakes, hit the apex, and we've got the move done once again. We can turn our attention, therefore, to the leader, who is 3.5 seconds ahead at this point in time. Try to nail these corners, nice and easy, nice and cool, son, nice and cool, you know what I mean. Through the apexes of the corkscrew, lap number 8, and you can see now, as we head into turn 2, lap number 9, things are very much closer. I really do have a chance. And through the apex of turn 2 on the exit, not really pushing for a move at this point, as well these corners you're not really ever going to get anything unless they make a catastrophic error, then you can force your way in. But here, look, just sit behind, get the exit speed, boom, it's going to work once again. He's going for first, he says, and that's exactly what we're going to do, up the inside, boom. Another move into this corner. It's the trademark move of Scott Speed. If you're ever going into turn 5, watch out for Scott Speed, because there's a good chance he's going to throw one up the inside, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now it's a case of just trying to pull away, make sure he doesn't go for the insta-reply. He is quite close, but around Laguna Seca the track isn't too wide, you know, you do have to be kind of alongside. It's very difficult to go for very late lunges at this circuit, and therefore you do have to be very close, if not completely alongside, before you get to the corner if you want to be going for some moves. But there you go. Into the final corner of lap number 9, we open up that gap, and this performance was really rather good. The boys back at the Lexus factory rejoicing at the skill of Scott Speed, although the rating isn't quite there yet, guys. We do need to improve that rating and make sure that we get into the top tier of American battles and race against the absolute pinnacle of the Americas. So there we go. We won that race, finishing first place from starting 17th. I came back to this one, the Viper, set a lap time, and well, we're just going to skip to the end because basically nothing happened. Apart from me doing 3 laps, very boringly, with nothing happening. We do, though, find ourselves at Kyoto for what can only be described as the pinnacle of motorsport, as you can quite clearly see. We've gone for the Demio XD Touring 15, which is a car steeped in motorsport history, as you can probably tell by the aggressive, fast look and the amount of downforce this car has. So let's see if this is going to turn out to be the spectacle that I have just told you that it will be. Okay, 7 laps of the short Kyoto circuit. We've got Mr. Treves 2 up in the lead here, going defensive, covering the inside. Fair play. Let's just try and stick behind him for now. Although the space sort of opened up there, maybe not. This will be very much a race of slipstream. Track position, just making sure you don't get caught in the group, as many of these race A's go that kind of way, you know. You just got to be very, very careful, make sure you don't get shuffled down the deck too quickly, too early on. You need to be in a good position for most of the race. Hang towards the front of the pack to make sure you're not too far away towards the end of the race. Brazilian behind going for the move. Prizes open the gap, and coming into this final chicane, oh, he wants more room than I can really allow him. But we do manage to slot in ahead, and we lost maybe half a second there to Mr. Treves 2 up in the lead. But by the end of lap 2, as you can see, getting a lot closer, courtesy of the slipstream, of course. So will we be able to go for this move? Is he going to defend it? It doesn't look as though he is. Shifting up into 4th gear rather early, but that seems to be the better way in this car. Crossing the line with a 52.5 up the inside, and the move is going to be done here. Lap 3 of 7. So things looking rather good so far, but many things can change. It's a rather close race. You make one mistake or get one penalty, and you can easily lose 4, 5, 6 positions at the click of a finger. And coming through the chicane on this 3rd lap, searching for your braking point, which is pretty much the beginning of this curve on the left here, and that sees you into this corner rather nicely. Don't need 2nd gear. You want to minimise the amount of gear shifts, ideally, if you can. So we're not going to go down into 2nd, then back up to 3rd. Keep it in 3rd. Seems to work well. And that's lap number 3 done. We still have the pack very close. This is lap number 5 now, and we're going to cross to begin lap 6. So therefore 2 laps to go. Things hotting up, as now Jay Chulik, yes, what a name, is now in 2nd, trying to go around the outside. Not quite going to work for him on this occasion, I don't think. But this does pose a rather big problem at this point of time, because I do have to defend now from here to the end of the race, and I could easily get overtaken at this point. So he's very close. You can see that on the radar. Going to go semi-defensive, make him think twice about going for the move, and well, I guess he did think twice because he didn't go for the move. Staying in the lead for now. Player 3 has entered the battle. Treebs 2 is back, so we could potentially go down to third here if we're not careful. We're through the chicane, 2 wheels on the grass, 2 on the curb. That's just about within track limits, so you can do that. I'm going to go fully to the right here, so make sure he goes left. Protect the inside line as you're entitled to do. Bit of contact as we go in. Half a lap, no, 3/4 of a lap remaining. It is hotting up here in the pinnacle of motorsport. This is what you all came to see. As we head down the hill for the final time, into the chicane, easily flat out. Shouldn't be having to lift through this section. Make sure you use all of the curb. And now they're side by side, so I don't know if I have to defend it. I don't think I do. I'm going to go wide and just take the trail brake line in to really throw off any attempted late lunge. The Brazilian lurking in 4th place isn't going to be able to salvage anything here. As we come through the final corner, that is it. We're going to win the race. I'm sure you'll agree, was an absolute spectacle, and it'll go down in history as one of the greatest races of all time. There's just no doubt about that. But that is the end of yet another video. Thank you so much for watching. Get yourself subbed, hit the like button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff. But in the meantime, everyone, look, take care, hope you keep well, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.